Coming up in September on Roanoke County Today, we visit the Roland E. Cook site in Vinton, plus find out about the master plan for Explore Park. This and more coming up this month on RCT.
The facts are in the numbers. 4.2 million people have tried heroin and 23% of them became addicted. 80% of the people addicted to heroin switched from pain pills. 16% of high school students in the Roanoke Valley took prescription medicine to get high in the past 30 days, and 25% have tried marijuana. The Community Outreach Summit, Thoughts from the Teens of the Roanoke Valley, is taking place October 13th at the South County Library. Discover the impact that drug addiction can have on the community and attend the Community Outreach Summit.
Welcome back to the show. In accordance with the Clean Air Act, there are some new regulations that will be taking effect for Roanoke County, and here to tell us more about it is Fire and Rescue Chief Steve Simon and Fire Marshal Brian Simmons. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Sure. Tell us, Chief, about some of the new regulations.
Yeah, the primary change in the new regulations is going to require anyone that has brush pickup provided by the county will no longer be allowed to burn. Currently, some people in parts of the county, mostly our rural areas, are allowed to burn outside, and what I'm talking about is brush. Maybe they're doing some land clearing, or maybe they're doing some spring cleaning where they're bringing in some brush, some tree limbs that have fallen over the winter, and that's what they'd be burning. Now, with the new requirements by the state, they're going to only be able to take that down for brush pickup. So those individuals will no longer be able to burn.
Okay, and why is this necessary?
Well, there's a couple reasons. The first reason is Roanoke County is part of the Western Emissions Control Area, which regulates the amount of emissions that can be burned or be in the atmosphere at any given time. And Roanoke County has had a higher incident along with the other areas, other jurisdictions around the Roanoke Valley. So the state Air Pollution Control Board implemented new regulations that limit the amount of particulates that can be in the air. So one thing that gets in the air is when people do open burning. So they have restricted that open burning. There are still some exemptions that can be used, but for the most part, since the county does provide brush pickup for all residents in the county, it really becomes somewhat of a moot point. And then the secondary issue, it is a safety issue. When people do have open burning, there is a chance for fire spread, so that is always a concern. So I am supportive of it, and the county department is supportive of it also.
Sure. And when do the regulations take effect?
They actually will take effect October 1st, but currently we already in a burn. Our regulations don't require no one to burn at this time anyway, during the summer anyway, because of poor air quality in the Roanoke Valley. So the regulations actually took effect July 15th, but since we don't allow any burning until September 30th, the new change for all purposes will take effect October 1st.
Okay, great. Coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
And how many people, how many citizens do you think this may impact?
We predict it's probably going to impact about 50 residents in our rural areas. That's less than 0.2% of the population. But I got to stress, those individuals still have the option to take their brush and have the county pick up those brush piles if they put it next to the side of the road. So it's not like they cannot submit or do the same thing other citizens are. We just are going to not be allowed to burn.
Okay, great. And so from the fire marshal's perspective, I know your office is mandated to enforce this law. So what will you be doing?
Well, first and foremost, we want to take an educational approach, to the issue, and we've sent out letters to all of the residents that have received a burn permit within the past 5 years to try to explain, the regulations, what's coming up, and so they can have a heads up on what's coming along. We also have a permit process that we use to try to help regulate, who's open burning, where it's located, to make sure it's safe. And then we also, as citizens, call in if someone is, burning, and our, fire trucks, go on calls for smoke reports or illegal burns or whatever the nature may be. We will still take that educational approach and try to explain to the citizen the guidelines and to make sure they know.
Sure. Okay. And what are some situations where open burning is allowed?
Well, you can have a recreational fire, which would be defined as a fire that is no larger than 3 feet wide and 2 feet tall, used for cooking, warmth, recreation. You can have an outdoor fireplace that's become more popular in the past, you know,
Or a
couple.
bonfire.
A bonfire with a permit, right, for ceremonial, like a, you know, high school pep rally or a, you know, a party or, you know, something along that lines. You can still have a pit burn for land clearing operations, so a construction company clears off a lot that has a lot of, you know, brush or trees, and they want to get rid of that. They can apply to have a pit burn, and there will be some circumstances where a homeowner, you know, could get a permit if they do not have brush collection, which would be if a lot, you know, is vacant, doesn't have a residence, or if it's considered, you know, commercial. And there are some rare exceptions for agricultural. We have some orchards and some different things like that, where, like for diseased vegetation and for orchard prunings and things of that nature.
Okay, so there's really a large gamut of things that people can use this new regulation, or you are able to allow burning in certain circumstances.
In certain
right?
circumstances,
okay.
correct, yes.
Okay, and talk about the process to apply for a permit.
We do have a permit process, so you can do it a number of ways. We can mail you an application. It's online, you know, where you can go online, you know, to fill it out. We can fax one. We can scan one and email it to you. We try to work, you know, the best way that the citizen can receive the permit application. Once they receive it, they can fill it out. We'll process it, determine if it's an area where they can actually get a permit, and then if we determine that it is, then we'll process it, and then we'll go to the site to do a site inspection to make sure they're meeting all the safety guidelines.
Okay, so it's a fairly simple process.
Yes, there's no fee. There's just basically we want to know where they're at, and we're making sure it's safe.
Sure. Okay, great. And if people wanted to find out more information, can they call your office or look on the website?
Yes, they can go on our website, which is RoanokeCountyVA.gov, or they can call the Fire Marshal's office at 777-8732.
Okay, great. Thank you both for joining us and
pleasure.
keeping our citizens informed of the new regulations.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.
A pet is a friend. They are playful, loyal, and every pet wants and deserves a forever home. Did you know the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection has many pets that are available for adoption? Our adoptable pets are listed online with pictures and descriptions, or you can visit us at 1510 Baldwin Avenue, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more info about providing a pet a forever home, contact Roxy Brown at the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection. Remember, there's no place like a forever home, so adopt today.
Welcome back to the show. In 2013, Roanoke County launched what's now become an award-winning anti-litter campaign, and now we're in the next stage of it. And here to tell us more about it is Scott Ramsberg, Business and Information Manager with Parks and Rec.
Hello.
And Megan Curnice, who's a planner in community development.
Hi.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Megan, first tell us about littering in our community. How important is it for people not to litter, and is it an issue here?
It definitely is an issue, and we've seen that in some of our new landscaping beds on our major roads. We've actually had 2 landscaping beds caught on fire by cigarettes flicked out the window.
Right.
So it is a big issue. We're seeing more and more fast food bags tossed by the side of the road, and somebody's got to clean that up or the community just looks horrible. It looks like no one cares, so it is a big issue.
Sure. And does it clog up storm drains? And
Absolutely, and it ends up in the Roanoke River, which is definitely where we don't want it.
Right. Good. Okay. So, Scott, tell us about the initial campaign. I know both of you worked on it, and you worked on some of the elements of public awareness campaign. Tell us about that, how it got started.
Well, it started a little over a year and a half ago when Supervisor Charlotte Moore approached staff with coming up with an idea to reduce the amount, specifically of cigarette butt litter, but that got expanded as the campaign progressed. We came up with the concept of the world is not your ashtray. We sought some sponsors such as Lamar Advertising to help us place some in-kind billboards throughout the county. We put bumper sticker magnets on county vehicles, and we put banners up at many county locations at that time. It was a tremendous success. We had a lot of positive feedback from the community because really we were furthering the mission of making Roanoke County a beautiful place, which we all know it is, with the mountains surrounding us. As a suburban community, it's really not what we want to see with all this trash on the ground.
Right. Now tell us about the new campaign. Will there be some new elements or new design?
Absolutely. We have changed the design a little bit to be a little less specific just to cigarette butts, although they're referenced on the sign, just to say no letter. These are permanent campaign signs that will be up throughout the valley in a couple of ways. First, it's their business partnership opportunities. They're small signs. This is the exact size of the sign, 12 by 18, that partner businesses can request to have in their parking lots to deter folks littering on their business grounds. So we've already had dozens of local Roanoke County businesses participate, and all they have to do is call us here at the admin center to be hooked up with that campaign. And then another part of the campaign, Mitch, which may be even more visible, will be the roadside signs at intersection. You've seen banners in the previous version of the campaign. These are solid metal signs that are 24 inches square that are going to be going up in select locations throughout the county permanently where litter has been a problem.
Great. And Megan, you talk about that because you work with VDOT on a regular basis. Talk about how you were able to manage that with them.
Sure. Well, the last time we had banners up, and the nice thing about those was that they got a lot of publicity for right away, but they were only allowed up for 30 days. So with these permanent signs, we'll be able to have them up all the time. So we're working on locations with them right now and hope to have them up shortly.
Will they be in the medians or on the sides of the road?
Some will be in medians where they're wide enough. Most will be on the right-hand side of the road, like all the other regulatory signs.
Okay, so very visible.
Yes.
Great.
And then, of course, as part of our initial campaign, you're still able to go onto RoanokeCountyVA.gov/litter and report if you notice someone putting trash out of their car window on the side of the road, and that's something that a lot of people have taken advantage of, but some people still don't know that you can do that. And what you get when you turn in that notice, if you have to know the make and model of the car, the time of day that it occurred, and the license plate of the car that you saw this occurring, and the owner of that vehicle will get a letter from Roanoke County Police talking to them about this was spotted, and were it to be caught by an actual officer, there is a fine involved.
Right. So it's been a very successful campaign, and I think the new campaign will certainly be even more successful. It does resemble the old campaign, but a new twist on it. So good. Okay. And again, where did you say people can find more information?
RoanokeCountyVA.gov/litter is how you report. Just plain website, RoanokeCountyVA.gov, if you want to learn more about all of the county's wonderful programs like this one.
Okay. And I meant to ask you too, when will the new campaign kick off? When will we start seeing these signs?
We're rolling it out right now. You're already seeing business signs in business parking lots, and within the next month or two, you'll be seeing intersection signs as well.
Okay, great. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Have you ever had an emergency? Immediately, you call 911, and for that instant, all you can do is put your life in the hands of the men and women who come to save the day. As an EMT, you step into that world and make a huge impact in the lives of people who need help. As an EMT, you could be the one person who could change a life forever. This is the mission of the Vinton First Aid Crew. The Vinton First Aid Crew is looking for volunteers who would like to help with their community. Some of the benefits of becoming a volunteer include training opportunities, working in an amazing building with up-to-date technology, having a flexible schedule, become part of the active competition team, volunteer incentives for future jobs, and more. For more information on becoming a volunteer with the Vinton First Aid Crew, call 540-983-0641, send an email to volunteer@vintonems.com, or you can visit their website at vintonems.com.
Welcome back to the show. A lot of things have been happening in the town of Vinton, and one of them involves the building behind us, which is the Roland E. Cook Elementary School building. And here to talk more about it today is Jill Loop, Economic Development Director. Welcome to the show, Jill.
Thank you, Amy.
So before we talk about the future for this building, tell us about the history of it.
Well, the Roland E. Cook building has been a school facility up until 2009. It was built in 1915, so it's about 100 years old. The building sits on this hill here, which is an iconic structure that overlooks the downtown Vinton area and the new public library. Has a lot of historic significance to many of the residents in the Vinton area, and many of them went to school here, and so they're very excited to see this project underway.
Has there been a push to market this building?
Absolutely. The county took possession of the property in about 2012, and we advertised the building for sale or lease for a redevelopment project in May of 2014, just last year. We received responses to that request for proposals and have proceeded with a new development partner to redevelop this structure.
Good, and tell us about some of those details. What can citizens expect to see soon?
Sure, so we negotiated with a company, it's a 4-member LLC. They're local investors, and there are 4 members of the partnership called Old School Partners, and they have proposed to redevelop this into a mixed-use property, which will include 21 one-bedroom apartments and loft apartments that are billed as upscale apartments for this area, and also some commercial uses to be determined as they go through the rezoning process with the town of Vinton.
Okay, so a lot of exciting movement here with this building. I'm sure citizens are going to be thrilled with what happens in the future. When do you anticipate these renovations will take place?
Okay, so this is a process that's going to be using historic tax credits. We have made application to the Department of Historic Resources to go through that designation, which will allow the developer to receive credits for the redevelopment of this project. We've passed the Phase 1 process, and we are now getting ready to apply for Phase 2, and then the third phase of the process is to get actual approval. So we expect that to take several more months, probably 7-8 months, and then the actual construction work can begin. So we're not anticipating an opening until sometime around 2017, and the developers also are working with the town of Vinton to go through the rezoning process on the property. So there's been a lot of partnering between the town, the county, and the developers to make this project work, and we're very excited to preserve the history, the beauty of this property, and to keep it for the citizens of the Roanoke Valley.
That's wonderful. It sounds very exciting. I know citizens are going to be happy. And what are some of the economic benefits to this?
Well, we're returning a property that has actually never been taxed in the community to eventually taxable property in the community. So the citizens can derive benefits from the tax revenues generated off of this property at some point in the future. Also with the commercial components, whatever they turn out to be, will have impact to the citizens in this area and to the residents who live in the building. So, you know, this is creating livable spaces. It's a community development project, a redevelopment project with walkability and movability into the downtown area, to the library and to businesses in the community. So everyone wins, everyone benefits from this project.
And I know our viewers can't see it, but the new Vinton Library is just right across the road from us, and all of the hustle and bustle of downtown Vinton. So this will be indeed a great addition.
Absolutely. It's market rate housing in a wonderful town, and everyone benefits.
Great. Jill, thanks for the update, and we look forward to future updates on the building.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, we'll be right back.
A little soap and water can go a long way. When you wash your car in a driveway, the soap, oil, and grease can flow into storm drains and pollute our rivers and streams. Always try to wash your car on the lawn. This will allow the water to soak into the ground. If you have to wash your car in a driveway, make sure the water drains onto your lawn and not a storm drain. Use a biodegradable soap. Dump your wash bucket in your sink or allow it to filter through the grass. It's easy to keep your car and our waterways clean by doing the right thing.
Welcome back to Roanoke County Today. My name is Brian Klingenpeel, and I'm the Public Education Specialist for Roanoke County Fire and Rescue. September is National Preparedness Month, and in the past we've talked a lot about a kit that you can have to be prepared for all kinds of different disasters. And while that kit is still very important, and it is still something that we should all do, the theme this year is Don't Wait, Communicate. And so what we're asking you to do is to take action by making a plan with your community, with your family, and for your pets. A plan on how to stay safe and a plan about how to communicate during those disasters that may strike our community. Your family may not be together when a disaster strikes, and so it's very important to plan in advance how you will stay safe, how you will communicate, and how you will get back together again. Ready.gov has made it very simple for you to make a family emergency plan. You can go to that website and you can download a form like this one that will show you how to make this family emergency plan very easily, very simply. You can fill it out and then print it out and send it to your family and friends, or you can fill it out online and then email it to them as well. Here are some family communication tips. Identify a contact person who lives out of state for all of the family members to notify that they are safe. Oftentimes during a disaster, it's easier to make a long-distance phone call than it is to call in town. Another communication safety tip is to teach family members how to use text messaging. Text messages can often get around network disruptions when a phone call may not go through. Be sure that all family members know the phone number of the contact person and have a way to contact them, like a cell phone or a prepaid phone card. Subscribe to alert services like Roanoke Alert here in Roanoke County that can give you local emergency information. You can sign up for Roanoke Alerts by going to www.roanokecountyva.gov, and when you get there, click on the Notify Me tab, and that will allow you to sign up for Roanoke Alerts. Also, during National Preparedness Month, there is a hazard focus theme each week to draw attention to different kinds of disasters. For example, week 1 has to do with floods. Week 2 is wildfires, week 3 is hurricanes, and week 4 is power outages. I hope that Roanoke County citizens will take some time now to research these different disasters and think ahead about what they would do should one of these disasters occur. We have had floods in the Roanoke Valley before that have been very devastating. Within the past 10 years, we have had a significant wildfire, and just within the past 3 years, we have had a significant power outage during the derecho. So this shows that these kinds of disasters do happen here in Roanoke County, and we need to know what to do to be safe and to be prepared. National Preparedness Month culminates on September the 30th with National Prepare-a-thon Day, and this is the day that we will have these group discussions with family and friends and organizations, and it's also a day to do drills and exercises to help us to be prepared for disasters that may come. I hope that you will take some time this month to begin to get prepared. Roanoke County Today will be right back.
The facts are in the numbers. 4.2 million people have tried heroin and 23% of them became addicted. 80% of the people addicted to heroin switched from pain pills. 16% of high school students in the Roanoke Valley took prescription medicine to get high in the past 30 days, and 25% have tried marijuana. The Community Outreach Summit, Thoughts from the Teens of the Roanoke Valley, is taking place October 13th at the South County Library. Discover the impact that drug addiction can have on the community and attend the Community Outreach Summit.
I'm joined by Doug Blunt, Director of Roanoke County Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, and we're here at Explore Park, where it's a very exciting time this fall as we embark on a new master plan process for the facility. First of all, Doug, tell us about the general timeline of this master plan implementation.
Well, what we're doing is we're beginning the master planning process early this fall, and it will proceed all the way through early 2016. We will have a community engagement period in September and October for folks to be able to share their thoughts of what they would like to see out at Explore Park. And then we will have a period of where our consultants are working on developing kind of that roadmap per se of the master plan. And then we would like to have it completed by the end of February 2016 and then ultimately presented to the Board of Supervisors in March of 2016.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the individual pieces of that. The first piece of the master plan actually began back in July with an initial consultation with our consultants. Talk about about that and then how we're progressing.
Well, what we did was our consultant is Wallace Roberts and Todd. They're out of Pennsylvania. And what we did with them is had a kickoff meeting, sit down and talk about the design of the master plan, how we want to be able to design the process, how we want to be able to have the citizen engagement for the process, how we're going to communicate throughout the process with our citizens, how we're going to put all of the parts and pieces together to create that roadmap so that we kind of have a direction that we'd like to take the park in over the next 15 to 20 years.
And I think you really hit on it. One of the things that came up in that initial meeting was the extent to which we want to involve both Roanoke County citizens and the community at large in this process. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's really important. I mean, this park we want it to be a world-class facility for not only Roanoke County residents, but for the entire Roanoke metro area. And we want it to be a regional facility. We want it to be to where we can attract all interest levels for outdoor recreation, whether that's passive, active recreation, whether you're a novice or an expert. And so this is folks' opportunity to come out and tell us what they want to see and help to influence this final footprint for Explore Park.
So with that community engagement, there'll be a series of community meetings that will be held. We'll also be doing focus groups with some stakeholders in the area. That would be the community groups as well as leaders and elected officials from the community. And finally, we'll be doing a community survey throughout the month of October. And you can find all that information online at www.explorepark.org/master plan. It's a great way to keep informed about all that, and we're really going to be letting folks know throughout the entire process how things are going. Now, after that, what is the end result? What's the master plan ultimately going to provide Roanoke County?
Well, the master plan provides us with the roadmap for how we want to go about to utilize the park. How we want to be able to either have some type of different types of programming, development at the park, if we want to bring in public-private partnerships to help in terms of developing different recreation amenities. This is going to give us that plan of how we want to go about building the park. It will also have different phases to where, you know, we will see over the years how we will implement the different aspects of the master plan. And then it also helps us from an investment standpoint of what it really takes to be able to offer programs, takes care of the park in terms of maintenance plans, and then having that overall business plan for being able to make the park more sustainable for local use.
This is a little bit unusual compared to some master plans in that it includes a complete business model as well as utilities model as well.
That's exactly right. This is, we are taking a different approach. We're very serious about ensuring the sustainability of where the park will be able to succeed with not only just having aspects from your local government that are participating in Explore Park, but also getting others to help partner with us to be able to build the infrastructure, to be able to build the programming base, the different recreational amenities.
And that goes right back to that community engagement that we keep talking about. These are the groups that are meeting with us, the stakeholders, individuals that come out for these meetings are going to be engaged in the process, we hope, for years to come, and a continued community engagement process here at Explore Park. So we look forward to you coming out at one of our town hall meetings and looking online for information about all of these master plan items at www.explorepark.org/masterplan.
Have you ever wanted to make a difference in the life of an animal but didn't know how? The Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection is looking for volunteers to assist with the daily care of their animals. Volunteer opportunities include cat socialization, dog walking, front desk or kennel assistant, off-site adoption events, rescue networking, or shelter photography. As a volunteer, your time and talents will make a difference in the life of an animal. For more information on how to become a volunteer, call or email the Regional Center for Animal Care and Protection.
The South County Library is now a designated passport acceptance facility. Passport applications are taken by appointment during these hours only, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Monday and Tuesday evenings, 6 to 8 p.m. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call the South County Library at 540-777-8782. Details are also located on the County Library website, roanokecountyva.gov/passports.
If you've ever had an emergency, then you know that in an instant, all you can do is put your life in the hands of the men and women who come to save the day. This is the mission of the Vinton First Aid Crew. The Vinton First Aid Crew is looking for volunteers who would like to help with their community. For more information on becoming a volunteer, call 540-983-0641, send an email to volunteer@vintonems.com, or you can visit their website at vintonems.com.